Very good morning, everyone. So it's been a while we have completed the science and tech classes. So today we are starting with economy. So what our basic agenda in economy is? कितना क्वेश्चन आता है economy से? 15 to 20 maximum. And what is the nature of questions being asked? As I already told, it's very much related to conceptual. More or less, most of the questions are asking from concept. Even though there is current affairs linkages with XYZ things, question are very fact bhi nahi aa raha hai. Conceptual linkages, how XYZ is conceptually related to XYZ. Money supply bola, how taking money from the ATM disrupts the money supply in the economy. These kind of questions are being asked in the exam. So our objective is little different from what we have done in science and tech. Here what we are doing is we are more focused on static part of the economy, and I assuring you this series will serve as a very fast revision for your economy basic concepts. And when we are discussing the basic concept, there is a recent development regarding that we will discuss as a part of current affairs also. So that will be our approach for this economy series. So in this first class we will be discussing breaking down basically about the payment settlement system. RBI related XYZ cheese kya hai, then NPCA, what are different programs, and PSCA has come into picture. These two things we will discuss today in detail. Okay, let's get started. Start first with some basic fundamentals. What is fiat money? Give me example, give me definition. Absolutely wrong. Those money which is issued by the order of government, central bank, or some countries mein king hai, like Saudi Arabia mein to king. So those sovereign authority backed currency is called fiat currency. India mein kya hoga fiat currency? Coins, notes, CBDC. What is CBDC? Central bank crypto digital currency, something like that. So this is also issued by RBI or central bank of XYZ country. So these all comes under fiat money. And India में coin कौन issue करता है? Coins issued by government under Coinage Act 2011. Notes is 1 rupee note is issued by not 1 rupee issued by government but distributed by RBI itself. All other notes issuing, distributing, designing, everything is function of RBI only. This is done under RBI Act 1934. Now come back, what is legal tender? Give me first, what is legal tender? It's not legal tender. Again, you are making conceptually mistake. He's saying any currency that is associated with any backed by a physical asset is legal tender. This is not correct. Absolutely wrong definition. Cannot make a mistake in basic definition of these terms. If you are making a mistake here, means there is basic understanding mein something is wrong. Fiat money means main function is that is issued by sovereign authority. It can be government, king, RBI, central bank, anyone. Legal authority means legal tender means this is issued, this is a fiat money, that is it is issued by sovereign authority, plus this is legally valid for settling all debts and transactions within the country. What does that mean? If I have to pay you 1000 rupees, I am giving you this legal tender XYZ, then you cannot refuse. You cannot say I will not accept this, I need that kind of only. You cannot take that kind of demands. Every settlement or transaction happening in the country can be done using XYZ currency, and that currency should be issued by sovereign authority also. When these two conditions are met, we call it as legal tender. What is examples? Notes, CBDC ये सब legal tender ही है. Yeah, that is we are going to discuss next. What is limited legal tender? What is limited legal tender? Legal tender, you understood what is the concept. Limited legal tender is that which To a limit, you can accept, you cannot refuse it. But beyond that limit, you can say, I will not accept this tender. Best example is coin. Somebody is repaying you with coins, till 1000 rupees, you cannot refuse it legally. Beyond 1000, if someone is, you are paying all the fees in the institute by a 1 rupee coin, then institute can say, ye acceptable nahi hai. समझ रहा है? So coins are one best example of limited legal tender. Now unlimited legal tender means exactly opposite of this. Like you cannot absolutely refuse the acceptance of or in settling debts or settling any transaction. Is notes unlimited legal tender? Technically it is unlimited legal tender, but there is restrictions on this also. What is restrictions? Under IT Act, under finance bill, budget, all these restrictions रखता है. कितना रखता है? 50,000, 2 lakh. Beyond that, you cannot give in notes. You have to depend on DD, check, or online transactions. It is unlimited legal tender. In, for exam perspective, notes is example of unlimited legal tender. Coins are examples of limited legal tender. Clear? Confused nahi hona. It is backing with any physical assets, backing with gold. This has no XYZ relations. Pehle there was conditions like that. It should be backed by X kg of gold. Now abhi there is no such conditions. It should be backed by X kg of gold. And what is the promise that government is giving? Sovereign authority coin hai. What is 500 rupees coin? What is the RBI promise you are getting? RBI is liable to accept it. It is RBI is not liable to give you gold for this. 500 rupees gold RBI नहीं देगा. Maximum RBI इधर तक देगा. If 500 rupees दे दिया, it will exchange you with any other legal tender. 100 rupees का notes दे देगा. That is acceptable in the country. But here be RBI is not mandated to accept those currency which are demonetized. Demonetization means क्या होता है? ये लीगल टेंडर स्टेटस कैंसिल कर देता है. So RBI is not mandated to keep that promise of giving you that exchange for XYZ services for that tenders. 500 rupees or 1000 rupees, that is demonetized. Now what are functions of RBI? Lot many functions it has. This is very basic. I am not, like in the whole lecture I am assuming that you know all of this. We are just a refreshing kind of discussion we are having. Banking functions, what are banking functions RBI does? So many. Banking regulator, banker to bank. Banker to banks means what? Lender of last resort will also come into it. What does that mean? Lender of last resort means? If some bank run situation happens, then RBI will act as protector of that bank. Maintain CRR, SLR ratio, how much should be CRR, how much should be SLR. Interbank settlements are carried out by RBI, loans to the banks, advances to the banks, lender of last resort, banker. Now tell me issue of notes. This is under everything related to notes except 1 rupee note. Even distribution of 1 rupee note is function of RBI. Rest all other rupee, design, XYZ, finalizing the design and distribution, printing, everything comes under RBI. What are monetary functions? Monetary policy functions, what does that mean? What is objective of monetary policy functions? We will discuss this in much detail in later part. Actually, monetary policy can be designed by different aspects. Either you can do it to promote, maintain the inflation or price stability, maintain price stability or have a control over inflation. और क्या हो सकता है? Growth can be prioritized. और क्या हो सकता है? Savings, forex reserves, government spending, all this can be related to monetary policy. Now what is India's approach or what is India's monetary policy का objective क्या है? We have redefined this in 2016. So after 2016, what is the objective of Indian monetary policy? Tell me, it's only inflation targeting. Inflation targeting considering the growth. That is the objective of India's monetary policy, whatever XYZ. Who conducts this? Who decides the rates? Monetary Policy Committee. This all will details later. Why inflation and growth are taken? Thing is, all this how they do control inflation by controlling money supply. Now inflation has correlation with growth. If higher inflation is there, general tendency is higher growth you can also achieve by having higher money supply. Now if you over control the inflation, make inflation zero, what is the issue? It will depromote growth. You are constraining money supply too much to have your inflation very low, like zero inflation, then growth will stagnate. So these are like going in opposite direction. If inflation is going like this, growth is going like this. So RBI is told to have a balance between both. And we have this variable targeting system. 4% inflation should be the 2% band you can have 2 to 6%. All this we will discuss later. Now come to other functions. Public debt function. What does that mean? All debt functions of public government debt functions are carried out by RBI. What does that mean? Government need money. How government get money? How government raise money from the market? Issuing government securities. Then who issue government securities? Is on behalf of government, RBI is doing this. So all these functions are carried out by RBI only. State governments who does? RBI itself does it for the state government also. Now what is the conflict here? Now at what rate RBI can sell this government securities? Based on what it is decided? It is decided based on interest rate in the market. This interest rate कौन set करता है? It is based on monetary policy. It भी RBI set करता है. So both interest rate भी वो करता है, उसके interest rate में पैसे लेना काम भी RBI करता है. So there is a conflicting interest between money supply objectives as well as the public debt functions of RBI. इसके कारण से हम क्या सोच रहे हैं? Government was proposing PDMA. What is PDMA? Public Debt Management Agency. And what is the function of it? All this public debt management will be carried out as a separate function. But RBI was not in the same footing, so this has not been implemented. It was just being proposed and still in a proposal mode. Other function, forex management reserves. We have discussed before also. Like rupee is falling, RBI is selling dollars through open market operations to support the rupee. FEMA, under Foreign Exchange Management Act, RBI different functions for managing foreign exchange is defined. Banking regulation and supervision. Yes, bank fail हो रहा है. Yes, bank stress feel कर रहा है. Then कौन come to rescue? Rescue plans are being decided. PCA framework. What is PCA framework? What does it prompt corrective action? What does it mean? All this, if some bank is not following XYZ norms and it is having stress, it will be kept under this framework. So all these regulatory functions are done by regulation of NBFCs, cooperative banks, RRBs, differentiated banks, all these. Money market instruments, payment settlement, consumer protection is also part of RBI. Give me an example for this. A lot of ads. You should mutual fund में देख के invest करो. ये सब ads आता है. और crypto currency आ गया. One major RBI का point was cryptocurrency is a risky investment. There is no backup assets for this. Bitcoin especially. There is no backing asset for this. And its value can vary in any ways. If something is varying like this, if you are investing too much money, what will happen? It can cause risk to the people. If all people are going and investing there, it can cause to people. So this is one reason why RBI came with a ban on these cryptocurrencies or the wallets that is operating cryptocurrencies. RBI came with a ban in 2018. So one reason was protecting consumer financial inclusion and growth, innovation in payment system. All these are one way or the other coming under the basic functions of RBI. Go ahead. Now we are not too much spending time on small currency issues. We are going something related to currently in use. What is cryptocurrency? We discussed, I think, so much aspects of this in science and tech class itself. So here our focus will not be too much on technological aspect. What is cryptocurrency first? It is having cryptographic features, then plus it uses blockchain technology. Blockchain technology has these features like decentralization and all this. These are examples. Ethereum, Bitcoin is there, XRP market, XRP is there. How does this works?
Based on solving some very
puzzle is there. What is the reason for coming of this Bitcoin, advent of this Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies? Like its all origin one way or other is related to 2008 financial crisis. So what happened in 2008 financial crisis? All crash of the dollar happened. When crash of the dollar, Lehman Bank failed, crash of dollar happened. So what happened? So people who have invested in dollars, put their money in dollar, lost their value. Now after one crisis happened, what government do? We have seen during this pandemic also. What government does during a crisis? Government want to kickstart the growth. How government kickstart the growth? By increasing money supply. How government increases money supply? By promoting, pushing people to take more loans. How it is done? By reducing the interest rate. So repo rate kam rakhega. So indirectly government will try to directly or indirectly print more money. Now printing more money and GDP growth is not happening, then what happens? Very simple concept. If 100 rupees is only there in the economy and there is 10 apples, how much will be price of one apple? Only 10 apples are there, 100 rupees is there only in the economy. This is the only product, this is the only money that is. So one apple will be sold at 10 rupees. Now tomorrow there you printed 200 rupees and you pushed into the system, economy. But GDP growth hasn't happened. There is 200 apples, 200 rupees and 10 apples only. GDP growth is not happening. You are simply pushing the money. Then क्या हो गया? एक apple का price 20 हो गया. One way or the other क्या हो गया? Inflation हो गया. Value of the money become half. So this, after printing the money, inflation happened. So in inflation also people lost huge amount of money, value worth of their investment that is having. So one way or the other, so many sections of the society lost interest in fiat currencies. Why this is happening? Because government can do literally anything. Government have absolute control of how much money should be printed, how much money supply should happen. All this government have absolute control. And this control should be taken away, or this control should not be there. There should be a system that prevents printing of unlimited supply. And from that idea, we have started the origin of Bitcoins and blockchain technology. Here there is puzzle and the number of Bitcoins is limited. Now there are different variants of blockchain and Bitcoin technologies, cryptocurrency technologies, which can, this algorithm also can be designed such that you can control the number of XYZ money supply in cryptocurrencies also. But the basic idea is number of Bitcoins, in Bitcoin is the best example, number of Bitcoins remains constant. Depending on solving the mining capabilities, you get more Bitcoin into the system. Now Bitcoin come into force. Now Bitcoin come, government is, now our focus is not too much on Bitcoin technology. Our focus is on what is legal status of cryptocurrencies in India, what government is doing, what RBI is doing. Now, why RBI and government literally don't like this Bitcoins or cryptocurrencies? Why government, if you are watching online, comment the answer. Why government or RBI, you can see what they are done. Fiscal control means? There are two aspects to this. One is the end use. There is no regulation. It can be used for terrorist financing. It can be used for money laundering. It can be used for a lot other purposes. But that is only one aspect of it. Major issue is how government is ensuring macroeconomic stability. How government is ensuring macroeconomic stability? By controlling the money supply. When pandemic is there, increase the money supply. When pandemic inflation is coming, restrict the money supply. So this control government is doing through different repo rate, CRR, SLR, all these tools we are seeing. So this tool is used to bring the macroeconomic stability. What does macroeconomic stability means? There is inflation is in the rate, forex exchange rate is in the limits. So all these are controlled by controlling the money supply. Now if private currencies are taking a true form, currency form in the true nature, what will happen? The whole government's control over or central bank's control over the money supply goes. Now if anything happens, wherever the value of rupee goes or currency goes, government cannot do anything, you just have to sit and watch. So this is why government, RBI throughout the world, one way or the other doesn't like at least these private cryptocurrencies. Now, but cryptocurrencies are like, how much you can ignore them. Blockchain technology is like like sweeping technology. So many applications you are getting, more innovations are coming. So one way or the other, government has to address this void. Somewhere or the other, we are moving towards something like more decentralization. It brings advantages. Decentralization advantages is the unlimited printing advantages is the non-unlimited printing. Even though there is advantages with this decentralization system, there is so much risk associated with this. Now what else? So what government is doing? They cannot ignore this for too long. Now government is coming with their own digital currency. CBDCs are. That's the advent of CBDCs. Now we will discuss a little bit this. 2013 RBI started warning people don't invest in cryptos. They are not. Then 2019 what RBI does? They took the extreme step. They banned everything. Everything means what? All wallets which were doing transaction in cryptocurrencies, they banned everything. This is illegal business बोल के सबको बंद करने के लिए बोला. Indian banks को instruction दिया nobody should interact with them or nobody should do businesses with them. Then what happened? These wallets went to Supreme Court. On what basis they questioned it? This is a part of Article 19, our right to freedom, right to do the business is part of right to freedom. So we have to do this business. Then what the RBI Supreme Court came up with? Supreme Court ordered in favor of the wallet. Supreme Court say complete ban is not following the test of proportionality. Instructor RBI can do some regulation, RBI can do some XYZ standards, but complete banning means somebody's right to business or this new technology is being completely taken away. That cannot be accepted. So the ban was lifted in 2019. After that, there has been little bit confusion on where exactly this cryptocurrencies is lying. Now what government is doing on the other hand? In 2018 budget is clarified that cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is not a legal tender. So ho nahi sakta, it's not a fiat currency, it's a private currency. And 2019 came up with a draft bill. So much interesting feature in this draft bill is it also contains a provisions if somebody is using this 10-year jail term will also be given for some offenses using these cryptocurrencies. What else? 2022 budget, 30% tax on cryptocurrencies and 1% TDS was charged on cryptocurrencies. All transactions on cryptocurrency. What is more interesting in this? ये तो डिजिटल टैक्सेशन कर दिया क्रिप्टोकरेंसी क्रिप्टो शेयर मार्केट ट्रेडिंग आप कर रहे हैं गेन ले रहे हैं similarly if you are doing cryptocurrency trade and making gain you have to pay 30% digital tax or TDS. Now what is a more interesting fact about it? If you are doing two transactions, suppose एक transaction में you made a profit of 1 lakh rupees. Another transaction you made a loss of 1 lakh rupees. So what is your net profit? 0. But what government said? इसको हमको कोई मतलब नहीं है, इसमें 30% टैक्स डालो. This is what government does. Our individual transaction we are not cared about. You cannot make it net. That is on every transaction there will be there. 30% tax is on every profit you make, pay 30%. but you cannot make the net profit. If you are making loss, you make loss, उसमें tax नहीं देना. So this is what government come up with. Somewhere they are depromoting people from investing in all these riskier investment options. Yes, yes, there are reports Indians are the biggest investors in. Lot of people are already investing in this. But risk to hai. If you are affordable, don't risk. But what time be Bitcoin has, for some long it was making really huge strides. अभी तो risky है. Bitcoin winter season भी था. 70,000 to 40,000 आ गया within few weeks value. So now it's, you cannot actually predict where it will go. That much high risk is considerable. Now these are some facts regarding what these universal institutions are doing. Either they are implementing the blockchain technology in different applications. UNICEF, what does, the first UN organization to accept donations in cryptocurrencies. Now Bond I by World Bank, what it does? Blockchain dominated in Australian dollar. It is a new system developed by World Bank. It is a blockchain technology cryptocurrency denominated in Australian dollar. Now Bill of Rights by World Economic Forum. Similarly, OECD has came up with this crypto asset reporting framework. What all this they are doing? Some applications of cryptocurrency. What these guys are doing? They're trying to develop some standards. Anyway, blockchain technology is here to say it will impact. So at least set some standards so there is some level playing field. Blockchain related to currencies. Idea is they are trying to set some standards or they are trying to leverage the application of the blockchain technology. So some kind of developments more you can add. Indian government is also implementing blockchain in different fields. So you can add those into it. So these developments are continuously happening. Go ahead. What is stablecoin? Here what you were discussing has some importance. What is stablecoin? Tell me. Bitcoin, what is the backing asset of Bitcoin? There is no backing asset of Bitcoin. If some coin has some asset pegged to it, like as a value of this will be related to US dollar, or value of this will be related to gold, value of gold. If you are pegging some asset value to some coin or some currencies or some cryptos, then that kind of coins are called stable coins. They have some backing asset to them. Now what is algorithmic stable coin? वो तो है सब ऐसे ही है. Basically, I told that what is one difficulty we are finding with this Bitcoin cryptocurrencies? There is no way to manipulate the money supply. So algorithmic Bitcoin means you can manipulate the algorithm itself to control the money supply, a number of coins to be released or number of coin already released. उधर भी control आप ले आ सकता है. That kind of coins are called. These are like a next level advancements of Bitcoin. Algorithmic stable coin. Only definition you need to know. Basic definition. बाकी सब चीज ज़्यादा technical जाने का जरूरत नहीं. Backed by some kind of assets. Some kind of assets, other currencies or some backing asset is there for stable coins. Now we have central bank digital currencies. What is CBDC?
It is blockchain and cryptography based coin.
What is the major defining factor? It is really issued by central bank. In India, it should be issued by. Did RBI issued any CBDCs? Which all are they? RBI issued two models now. Which are two models? E-rupee retail was there, E-rupee wholesale was also there. So both these pilot project has been released. Anybody tried? Some cities they have released this. So all these cryptocurrency basic all will apply. Only difference is instead of private, it should be issued by RBI or central bank. Go ahead. Now RBI released a concept note on cryptocurrencies or CBDCs. Concept note. ये quite interesting है. इसमें सब details लगा है. And RBI defines cryptocurrencies, CBDCs as what? They are legal tenders. कोई option आया ये fiat money है? Are they fiat money? Tell me CBDCs are the fiat money? Why not? CBDC कौन issue करता है?
वो लीगल वो नहीं है, वो फिजिकल एसेट से बैक नहीं है.
Physical asset से back नहीं है. You're still in that cycle. Physical asset कोई concept नहीं है अभी. That is outdated. No currency is pegged to any physical assets. Earlier dollar was pegged to gold and all. अभी कोई currency not pegged to, only promise is there. We'll give you exchange value of XYZ. No currency, वो concept छोड़ो mind से. CBDC is a legal tender. CBDC is a fiat money. It is issued by central bank. It is a legal tender. Exchangeable at par with existing currency. That means what? 1 rupee will be equal to 1 rupee note, 1 rupee already which you are having. Value will be same. Appear as liability side on this. That is all notes, coins, all these are liabilities of central bank. And e-rupee if they are issuing, they will also come in the same sections. It's a liability of the central bank. Go ahead. Why RBI is doing this e-rupee, CBDC? Exchangeable with physical assets. Written now. Exchangeable and at par with physical assets. Now, what is key motivations in bringing this CBDCs? RBI is saying they have this central bank का all advantages है. What advantages? Trust, safety, liquidity, settlement, finality, integrity, everything is there. Everything you enjoy with a actual money, piece of paper money, that you can enjoy with CBDC. That you cannot get in Bitcoin or any private money. Reduction in operational cost, like you don't have to print. Digital form में आ गया तो printing, distribution, replacement, all these costs are gone. Fostering financial inclusion, offline CBDCs are being introduced. Rural areas में internet नहीं, उधर भी CBDCs you can use. Resilient efficiency, innovations आएगा, new systems आएगा. Then issues of private cryptos. This is the big game they are trying to tackle. ये हम अभी कितना भी discuss किया, ये सब this will come under this. So this is what the reasons keyboard. This is just I want to put this because it is explicitly written in the concept note of RBI. Go ahead. What else we have? This is very interesting. We have CBDC different kind of design choices. One we told that retail and wholesale. What is the difference between these? इसमें भी you don't need to go too much in detail, but you should know the conceptual differences. If any statement will come, micro detail questioning will not come because all these are like abstract theories or abstract design. Nothing is fully implemented. So question में आया तो भी conceptual level में ही आएगा, abstract level में ही आएगा. तो conceptually आपको understanding होना चाहिए ये सब क्या है. इसका अलावा micro detailing study is not required. Tell me what is wholesale and retail CBDC?
Wholesaler may be a very big quantity.
No. Retail means it will be issued to me. I can settle for your transaction. I can settle for merchant transaction. I can do whatever with it. Wholesale means it will be specifically for some segments. We will see this in next slide also. It will be for settling government securities transactions, GSEGs, or it will be for secondary markets functioning. So these kind of areas only you can apply this. So this kind of interbank settlements, etc. This will only go into this wholesale. Now direct, indirect, and hybrid. What is this? Tell me what is this? CBDC models, direct, indirect, and hybrid. ठीक है, doesn't require, saying it doesn't require interbank settlements. Okay, what is direct, indirect फिर भी? See, these are different models. These are different models of CBDCs that can be designed. In direct model, what happened? Who issues CBDC? That is central bank. RBI issues. Now there is data on CBDC. Who keeps this data? RBI keeps this data. And to whom this will be issued? General public. This is direct model. Data will be with RBI. XYZ will be directly issued to the public. Public can still come and use it. And what is indirect? Indirect means RBI is still issuing the authority, but RBI doesn't keep any data. RBI issues the CBDC number of XYZ to banks. Banks keep the data. Then it is banks' duty to distribute it to public. That is indirect model. Now, what is hybrid? RBI issues it to bank. It is responsibility of bank to give it to public, but data will be kept by both. Data will be kept by bank as well as RBI. Clear? Now give me what exactly our European retail is. Which model RBI adapted? You have read the news, European retail. December में आया था ना? Most of you go through the news. Think something and tell me which model is RBI chosen. Direct, indirect or hybrid. What was the news on European retail?
Here RBI purchased Apple. CBDC आ रहे she settled the
ठीक है. How, which model RBI chosen?
direct has to keep a data.
Thing is, if you have read the news, RBI launched pilot e-retail project in 4 cities. Later it was expanded to 10 cities or so. 4 cities were Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, something like that. 4 cities and 10 banks or something, 4 banks. Some number of banks were also part of it. HDFC, ICICI, some major banks, SBI will be part of it. If banks are a part of it, then which model it is? It is purely indirect model RBI has chosen. All we are talking mostly is about European retail. Now tell me what is account based and token based.
Token you can only be used for specific purpose. Let's say you have coupon of to have to purchase a certain thing or to settle in a restaurant only.
No. You are saying it token can be only used for XYZ purposes. No, it is not the point. Any other suggestion? What is token based CBDC and account based CBDC? Our currency notes what it is. Is it token based or account based? Currency notes, if I hold 100 rupee, that is my 100 rupee. Whoever is holding it, he is considered to be the owner of this. That is token based system. We are not keeping a track of where the money XYZ is going, where the transaction is happening. At the end of the day, who is holding XYZ money? He is considered to be the owner of this. Account based means like bank accounts. You are keeping every bank's details, every account person's details, and if XYZ transferring X amount to this person, then you will have this balance sheet. इधर से इधर गया. ये सब detail data ledger form में या blockchain form में आप maintain कर सकते हैं. That is account based. Now European retail is token based. European retail here is indirect. Remunerated, non-remunerated, what does it mean? Suppose you are keeping 1 lakh in your savings account, at least some interest will be there paying by the bank. Remunerated means if you are keeping e-rupee, will RBI pay any interest? Yes or no? Don't be too confident it is non-remunerated. Tell me why? RBI doesn't pay any interest rate. Even if bank is involved, if you are keeping e-rupee, that is simply like you are keeping a note in your pocket. There will not be it will not become 101 rupee after 1 year or so. There is no interest rate paid by RBI. Why RBI choose this? What is risk or issues in making this e-rupee remunerated or keeping an interest rate for e-rupee also?
If it had been with the bank, bank would have created more money out of it. It would have given it to loan to the people.
We have discussed so many functions of RBI. If you look how RBI functions, banks are like working arms of RBI. Now, if you bring in with e-rupee, so one way or the other, e-rupee is directly handling with central bank. People start directly handling with central bank. The whole concept of having an intermediary is getting lost. Now, if you pay interest also here, then what is the core purpose of having an intermediary? So this, if you implemented, even though it may be good, but disruption level it can cause is sometimes can lead to instabilities. So whatever e-rupee RBI launch, it is no interest model only. Degree of anonymity, I don't think there is much to say in this. How much you can track, how much details will be available with central bank, all this. This is one of the best thing of CBDC. What rupee you cannot say with whom it is. But if CBDC become popular or people start using instead of rupee CBDC, RBI exactly can track everything. Now wallet money, bank money they can track. But if somebody is physically keeping X amount of crores of rupees, it's RBI cannot do anything. Here that means complete data set RBI can have. Even though data is collected by bank, that data also RBI can have for XYZ regulation or other purposes. Clear defined design choices. All these are explicitly defined in the concept note of released by the RBI. And this is the selections that are done by the RBI. In e-rupee, all this we are talking about e-rupee retail. Go ahead. This is we already covered this e-rupee wholesale versus e-rupee retail. Wholesale means it is for specific transaction like government securities, interbank, capital market, etc. E-rupee retail means it is 4 cities, 4 banks are part of it. Digital token denomination as same currency. Issued through intermediaries, that is indirect, it is no interest rate will be there, it is P2P and P2M. P2P and P2M means peer to peer or peer to merchant. You can do for merchant transactions also. Go ahead. So already we covered the basic concept. What is difference between CBDC and mobile money? Mobile money means that wallets, Paytms, all these kind of wallets. What is the main difference? Interbank settlement happens here or inter-wallet settlement happens here. Koi some other intermediary is there. And it is a liability of commercial bank. Here there is, it's a central bank, it's a totally new payment instrument. There will be so much KYC limitations. If token based is there, there will not be much KYC complications. Requires intermediary. Here means directly I am transferring to you without any other intermediary. Otherwise, I need some bank, I need some payment system like NEFT, RTGS. Some payment system should be there. If I am relying on this mobile wallet money. CBDC means I am directly transferring to you. There is no need of any intermediary. Any statement, this is very easy, you should be able to pick. Bank is the intermediary. Yes. Bank should be there, payment system should also be there. NPCI what does is, they control the payment system. Intermediary is the bank. Either bank से इधर लेके money इधर से लेके इधर डालना. That work is done by NPCI and other payment gateways, different. We will see in the next slide, coming slides. Go ahead. I think itna hi hai. Non-fungible tokens, what it is? We already discussed so many XYZ about it. Only understand, we have different JPG, MP3, all these formats. If this is XYZ form saved in blockchain technology, then we call it as non-fungible tokens. What is fungible, non-fungible means?
It can be
Here non-fungible means then क्या हो गया? It cannot be subdivided. It is having like a song is there means a complete a song it has value. Subdivided means it cannot have value. Used for storing physical assets also. Physical assets means this ownership documents or bank data. All this can also be stored in NFTs. Cannot be subdivided, values differ. In cryptocurrency, similar technologies, but values is same. Every cryptocurrency will have same value. Here every node will have different values. Go ahead. Technological aspects, I don't think we should focus much of this. Now we are shifting to payment system. चले? Payment and settlement system, what does it mean? अभी बोलना इधर से मनी लेके इधर डालना है, तो what is the different ways you can do this? पहले people को only पैसे दे सकता था, there was no other options. अभी पैसा देने के लिए हजार ऑप्शंस है, मोबाइल ऐप है, ये इवन मोबाइल में इंटरनेट नहीं है उसके लिए भी सोल्यूशन है, आपको स्मार्टफोन नहीं है उसके लिए भी ऑप्शंस है. There are different ways you can transfer XYZ money, XYZ different applications and different तरीके से. So all this will be included under payment system. And which one, who regulates all this? All these are regulated under Payments and Settlement Act. Which year it is? 2007. All India's, this is generalized act which defines XYZ responsibilities of different organizations for payment systems. And NPCA is formed under this act. What is NPCA? National Payment Corporation of India. This organization, this is like what people say, uncelebrated hero. Why? We are celebrating ISRO. Rocket gaya, ISRO ko celebrate kar raha hai. UPI is like such great innovation that never happened in the world. It even took the digital market or digital XYZ economy in India advanced 5, 6, 7, 10 years. Then nobody is appreciating NPCA. It's not just UPI. A huge number of developments in last 10 years has been brought by NPCA. Has been a core part in India's all this digital revolution what we are seeing today. Now what is NPCA? It is an umbrella organization for operating retail payments and settlement systems. It controls not just UPI, it controls RuPay, everything. All the payment systems are controlled XYZ by NPCA. Who is the ownership shareholding of NPCA? It is by RBI is having shares, then Indian Bank Association is having shares. These Indian Bank Associations, when it started, there were 10 banks. Now across 56 banks, shares of NPCA is being distributed. All these banks have some say in the decisions taken by the NPCA. It is registered as a non-profit company under the Section 25 of Companies Act. What else? 10 promoter banks. 10 was when it was started. Now it has 56 promoter banks. No need to remember each one and bank. This you should take into. It is a non-profit company and it is registered under Companies Act. Something like that is there in the statement. You should take it as right. Then these are a long list of products that is being released by NPCA, and question usually comes from either one of these products, mostly from RuPay to IMPS and SCHWP. What we will do is we roughly go through fastly all through basic features of all this. If anything recent development is there, then only you should know the peculiar features. Otherwise, at least itna janna hai, ye sab products of NPCA hai. This will come under India's payment and settlement system. Go ahead. What is RuPay? Let's start with this. What is different between RTGS and NEFT and IMPS? RTGS and NEFT, these are by products of RBI. IMPS is by NPCI. RTGS means it is real time, it is instant, and it should for bulk transaction, minimum 2 lakh should be there. Now after reforms 24/7 it is available and no transaction charges. पहले there was transaction charge, पहले it was only available on weekends, on this number of time gap it will be available. अभी ये सब हटाया 24/7 and no time span. Now this can be issued by banks as well as non-bank entities. What is Amazon Pay like? Non-bank entities, both these can do this NEFT RTGS. NEFT means same RBI launch up to 10 lakh smaller transactions. Now intervals of it will not be settled instantly. It will be settled in intervals of 30 minutes. It is available 24/7. There is no charges. And this 30 interval means what? What is this? What is purpose of this 30 minutes of intervals? Only every transaction will not be settled. Suppose there is ICICI Bank and there is SBI Bank. Suppose SBI may somebody transfer 1,000 rupees here. ICICI may somebody transfer 1,000 rupees here in 30 minutes. So net transaction क्या हुआ? Zero हुआ. So RTGS will not and NEFT will not do any transaction. Just instruct इसका money इधर डाल दो. So this 30 minutes तक कितना हुआ वो सब collect करके रखेगा and 30 minutes में process करेगा. So there is a time span gap in NEFT, but it is available 24/7. There is no charges and it can be provided by banks as well as non-bank entities. Now IMPS is totally new system that is being introduced by NPCI. It can have a limit up to 5 lakh, 1 rupee to 5 lakh. It is also instant 24/7 service available, but the main difference is IMPS will have carries a fee as well as GST charges. This you will have to pay extra. Banks, prepaid instruments, all these mobile wallets, all these can issue IMPS. Clear? Any statement, any confusing statement, you should be able to pick correct option out of this. Now tell me something basics about RuPay. What RuPay does? Global Card Payment Network of India. It is simply पहले ATM card और ये plastic money कौन release करता था? Master and Visa and all these are foreign companies. So if you are depending on them, you need to pay charges. You need to incur more charges. So India came up with its own system, that is RuPay. Here the advantage is you can have very less charges. There is no country transfer of your data. More data security features is there. All these are advantages of RuPay. And what it can do everything what a card does. Every features. Who can issue these RuPay cards? Public sector bank, private sector bank, any scheduled commercial bank, even regional rural bank, cooperative bank, all these banks can issue this RuPay card. Now tokenization, we'll discuss this later, but all these features which you are available in other cards are equally available in RuPay also. Tokenization feature is there, Bharat e-commerce payment gateway system is there. For doing this e-commerce online transaction, all these facilities are pre-packed in RuPay card. Go ahead. Micro details, we are not going into this. What is NACH? That is for conducting these online transactions, e-commerce transactions, all for these purposes. What is NACH? This is also product of NPCI, National Automated Clearing House. For what it does? Not interbank. National Automated Clearing House. What it does, there is huge number of settlements to be done. Suppose salaries is to be given, subsidies is to be given, Manrega salaries has to be given. That means lakhs of people has to be, this kind of XYZ can be feeded into NACH. So you can automate it and you can do XYZ revisions, process become easier. That is NACH. For carrying out this distribution of subsidies, dividends, interest, salary, pensions, etc. Okay, entire core banking services will be packed into this. Mechanism, not that much important. What is important is purpose of this, objective of this. What is NACH objective? You have bulk transaction, bulk nahi, number of transaction to be done is too huge. Like you have to pay the salaries of all people. Private company Infosys, more than lakh people का salary एक position से pay करना है. या मनरेगा पेमेंट करना है. So these kind of applications we developed in NACH. Now this not just having this bulk transaction, it will have our core banking solution features. That means you can design the salaries. अगर ये इतना काम किया इतना सैलरी दो, ये फीचर्स सब आप सेट करके रख सकता है. देन आप जस्ट वो डिजाइन फीचर्स फिक्स करो, देन इतना सैलरी डिस्पैच करो. So this kind of large dispatches centralized system we use NACH. Then Hero UPI. What UPI does? What UPI is? It's a payment gateway. Everything is payment gateway we are discussing. Power multiple bank account settlement in single mobile application. Peer-to-peer collect request. It can do so many things with just a mobile. What is basic features? How you should know? It functions 24/7. This all you would know. It functions all days, anytime, no leave is there. Single mobile application is using for all bank different bank accounts. You need only one application. For example, one Google Pay is required for all these banks applications. Single click two-factor authentication is there. What is this two-factor authentication? ठीक है. 2 levels of checking is security check will be done before. A beam, how much it have? Beam has three levels of authentication. Now pull and push means what? You can either demand paisa also. You can either send the money or you can ask the money also. 5,000 pay me. That is also can be done using this. Then customers are not required to enter all these card details, account details, IFSC. If somebody has to send money, only phone number is required. Yeah, only QR code is required. All these micro details of who to send the money, that is not required. Functions with QR code, hassles नहीं है, बाकी सब आपको पता है वही है. Donation सब जगह यूज होता है. इसमें से ज्यादा नहीं आ सकता, but these things are more chances of coming because these are new. ये क्या है? 1, 2, 3 pay for feature phones. Somebody who is not having smartphone, उसको भी UPI चाहिए. तो हाँ उससे भी हो जाएगा. If somebody is having normal phone, उसको भी UPI दे रहा है. That is 1, 2, 3 pay for. How do it work through phone call? Different modes है. It work through phone call, it work through missed call, even it work through this mobile connectivity. Only mobile connectivity is required. You will get the menu details. Press 1, press 2. उधर से जाके different modes you operate it and you will get the transaction done. Basic 2-3 things, different modes है. You can call it, you can miss call it, you can connect using the mobile. All these applications are feasible. And basic the objective it is providing the UPI facilities for feature phone also. What is UPI Lite? Now feature phone को हम दिया, हम somebody offline है, internet नहीं है, उसको भी UPI चाहिए, तो there is UPI Lite. ये confuse मत हो जाना. UPI Lite is for somebody who is having good phone or smartphone but not having internet. What he can do, he can download this app. Download किया ये भी नहीं, प्ले स्टोर में है UPI Lite. So इसमें हाँ है, इसमें क्या कर सकता है? लो वैल्यू ट्रांजैक्शन के लिए, लाइक मैक्सिमम पर ट्रांजैक्शन इज 200 रुपीज. एक आपका वैलेट में मैक्सिमम 2000 रुपीज एक समय डाल सकता है. एक दिन का लिमिट है 4000 रुपीज. सो ये लिमिट का अंदर आने का ट्रांजैक्शन आप ऑफलाइन भी कंडक्ट कर सकता है. डाटा विल बी स्टोर्ड एंड रिक्लेम्ड लेटर. सो दिस नंबर्स याद रखो, ऑब्जेक्टिव याद रखो. दिस इज फॉर offline conduct of UPI. Go ahead. What is UPI One World? This is more interesting. अभी UPI से बहुत countries inspire हो रहे हैं. India is also signing deals with other countries to start using UPI. Singapore has started developing its own UPI. Some UPI similar, name I forgot, but some system Singapore has developed similar to UPI. They are getting inspired from this and they are developing in this. but that has nothing to give and take with UPI One World. Don't confuse it with all these developments going on. UPI One World is specifically for G20 summit हो रहा है इधर. G20 summit के लिए बहुत लोग इधर आएगा. ये लोग को इंडियन पेमेंट सिस्टम का टेस्ट देना है. इंडियन 20 दिन इधर होगा या 10 दिन इधर होगा. उस टाइम ये लोग को ट्रांजैक्शन करने के लिए यूपीआई यूज करना है. इसके लिए आप यूपीआई वन वर्ल्ड डाउनलोड करो. इसमें फॉरेन डॉलर से आप पैसा डाल सकता है. Then this you can use it throughout the country for this much of days. Then when you are giving back, if there is balance, you can make a dollar in the exchange, or you can make it transferred back into your XYZ source account. All this कर सकते हैं. This is especially for people who are coming for G20. Maybe in future it will be expanded further, but right now it is only for G20. Don't confuse it with the World One World and no other application it have right now. Go ahead. RBI allows credit card payment via UPI also. Pehle only debit card you can use. Now credit card also you can club it with this UPI. Then all your transaction you can do from the credit card, and it can be clubbed later into when credit month payment cycle come, you can pay this. पेटीएम ने सब लॉन्च किया है. हाँ, सब जगह यू कैन लिंक क्रेडिट कार्ड आल्सो विद दिस यूपीआई एप्स, गूगल पे, एवरीथिंग. ऐश 99 क्या है? 123 पे हम फीचर फोन के लिए बोला. दैट इज फॉर फीचर पे यूपीआई फीचर्स. ऐश 99 इज वेरी ओल्ड वन. इफ यू नीड टू डू सम ट्रांजैक्शन यूजिंग ए फीचर फैन, इसके लिए ये लॉन्च किया था ऐश 99. दिस इज नॉट एक्जैक्टली कनेक्टेड टू यूपीआई, बट ऑब्जेक्टिव तो सिमिलर है. Work in GSM handset, does not require data connectivity, round clock availability. Just press this, then using mobile connectivity you navigate through the screens and you will do the control. All these services are available in Ash 99. Not too much to learn, at least learn that this is not exactly related to UPI, but this is something which was launched long before in 2011-12 that time, for having similar objectives, to having with similar objectives. Go ahead. What is National Electronic Toll Collection, NETC, FASTag? FASTag all we discussed many times. RFID technology, what frequency ranges it is, all this covered in science and tech classes. So who done this? This is also a product of NPCI. Toll collection के लिए, this is a payment gateway especially for functioning toll collection. They will take the money from your FASTag automatically, just scan it. Money will be collected for XYZ purposes. NFS, what it does? There was a prelims question, right? Banks are, ATMs are operated by? There was a prelims question, right? 2018, I guess. ATMs are operated by? NPCI was the answer. How NPCI? Which instrument? That is National Financial Switch. NFS connects all the ATMs network to throughout the country. Even NFS में कौन सा है? Even 50,000 ATMs. These ATMs include those ATMs also, like RRB ATM. Even NBFCs are starting some ATMs. So all these ATMs, every ATM in the country is connected by National Financial Switch. 99.99 कुछ है इसका efficiency level. So it doesn't make so much of mistakes. Makes the whole system very check truncation system. What it is? CTS. Is an old system. पहले क्या था? देखा है पुराना old movies, if you see, check withdraw करना है, क्या होता है process? देखा है? It says 2 weeks होता है या 1 month लगता है, maximum 1 month, minimum 2 weeks बोलता है. 1980s कोई movie देखो, check withdraw करना है तो. So how it works? If you submit a check, it will go to the next office, which will be in Bombay. Then they will cross check it, they will finalize it, then money will come back. Whole this process will minimum take 2 weeks, maximum 1 month. So that was the whole process, so difficult. Now CTS क्या किया? You don't need to send the check, just take a photo and send. Then photo में QR code, QR नहीं barcode जैसे जिसका numbers होगा, इससे वो verify करके deal settle करेगा. Then it becomes instant or 1 day काम. That is check transaction system. All these are products of NPCI itself. Now Aadhaar enabled payment system. What is it for? Don't confuse it with Beam or other something app. ये कौन करता है? Wait. Business correspondence. Business correspondent क्या होता है? Suppose in village, those people are not so educated to go and use these all facilities. So इसके लिए आप village correspondent लगाता है. Village correspondent will go then he will write down and take the money from this. He will do the transaction for them, for these common rural people. Now if a village XYZ correspondent is going, he can himself authenticate he is the exact person by giving all these data. Your name दे दो, Aadhaar number दे दो, fingerprint दे दो. Then he will operate your transaction. You can take 5,000 rupees from him. It will be deducted from your bank account. He will be having some machines to process all this. So for this application, it is Aadhaar Enabled Payment System, AEPS. These are list of different services that is available in AEPS. You can do cash deposit, cash withdrawal. There will be some limits. ऐसे नहीं बहुत ज़्यादा amount आप नहीं कर सकता correspondent कर रहा है few thousand rupees only you कर सकता but this all mini statement ले सकता है Aadhaar to other fund transfer authentication all these facilities are available under this eKYC fingerprint detection demo all this. Okay. Tokenization, I think we have some slide. We'll discuss that. Go ahead. E-rupee क्या है? Don't confuse this with the other e-rupee which we were discussing. This is totally different. RUPI is totally different. कोई relation नहीं है इसके बीच में. Only बोलने में similar लगता है, बाकी में कोई relation नहीं है. E-rupee is also a product of NPCI, but not just NPCI. Department of Financial Services, National Health Authority, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, all these are partners of in making this e-rupee. And what is the purpose of e-rupee?
Given a token, let's say you have to conduct a tertiary services, then you can go to hospital.
Yes. This time you are correct. Suppose government is giving, suppose direct DBI, DBT, direct money transfer कर रहा है कुछ scheme का under 500 rupees दिया. How can government ensure that this 500 rupee क्यों दे रहा है? Suppose rice खरीदने के लिए दे रहा है. But कैसे ensure कर सकता है rice खरीदेगा? Mostly accounts are handled by men and we have alcoholic men so much. So mostly this money will go to this part also. Alcoholic or leisure consumption when there is no rice, malnutrition is going at home. So हमको ये ensure करना है बैलेंस है. हम किसके गवर्नमेंट को किस चीज के लिए एंड यूज क्या है उधर ही पैसा खर्चा हो रहा है. सो व्हाट यू डू इंस्टेड ऑफ गिविंग मनी यू गिव वाउचर. दिस वाउचर इज कॉल्ड e-rupee. Now what this voucher is, you with this voucher you go to shops which accept this voucher. When using this voucher you can only get this service. You cannot use this voucher for getting any other service. If this is for treatment, tertiary treatment, then it can be only used for that XYZ treatment. So this voucher system is e-rupee. This is also something linked with NPCI, but there are other partners also for this. Basic objective is end use आपको ensure करना है. Intended objective ही fulfill हो रहा है. Now card tokenization. What is card tokenization? Aadhaar में also ये masked Aadhaar. Anyone downloaded it? Masked Aadhaar, you can download it from that site. Difference is Aadhaar is 12 numbers you have 444. ऐसा होता है ना? 12 numbers in Aadhaar card you have. Masked Aadhaar बहुत जगह देना है. Aadhaar data is linked to everything. PAN card, account number. If somebody learn to misuse your Aadhaar data means he can get everything. So इसको कंट्रोल करने के लिए masked Aadhaar, if you government says that your UPSC says that masked Aadhaar is absolutely valid. ऐसे नहीं कि invalid है. बहुत जगह काम के लिए ये valid ही है. Exactly आपको ये नंबर चाहिए उधर जाके ये नहीं देना, then काम नहीं होगा. बट बाकी बहुत जगह आइडेंटिटी के लिए यूज कर रहे हैं. मास्क्ड आधार इज इक्वली वैलिड. मास्क्ड आधार में ये डाटा सब ब्लॉक्ड होगा. ओनली ये 4 डिजिट विल बी देयर. Only 4 digit will be visible. So you wherever you are using, they cannot get the complete information. Now tokenization क्या करता है? Tokenization क्या करता है? Same thing. If you are giving your credit card data, that credit card data will be linked to your bank account. That bank account will be linked to your financial details. So all this leak नहीं होना है. या Amazon को दे रहा है या कोई और payment system को दे रहा है. You need to ensure that your original data is not being misused. So इसके लिए you give it for masking. So that if 1, 2, 3 is your original number, they will give you a masked number 4, 5, 6. Now this masked number will not have any connection with your original data. Whichever hacker got this, he cannot come back to your original sources and get your original data from this masked XYZ number. So getting this process is called tokenization. इसमें question क्या आ सकता है? This is guy who want to mask his XYZ. ये mask कौन issue करता है? RBI नहीं करता ये. हाँ, whoever issue cards. एक मास्टर कार्ड है तो मास्टर कार्ड करता है, बैंक का कार्ड है बैंक करता है, ये इंटरमीडियरीज करता है ये मास्किंग ऑपरेशन. आरबीआई ओनली इंस्ट्रक्शन देता है मास्क करो एंड यू स्टार्टेड द मास्किंग प्रोसेस, ये इंडिविजुअल स्टार्ट करना है. ऑब्जेक्टिव इज आपका डाटा लीकेज नहीं होना है, आप बहुत जगह यूज करना है. दैट्स इट. So what all we have completed? We started with different forms of money. Fiat money. Fiat money is not something having base value. Don't say that. Don't keep that out of your mind. Fiat money has nothing to do with whether there is a value asset pegged to it. It is only that some sovereign authority is issuing it. So we have done different tender, legal tender, all this. After that, we have looked a little bit on RBI. We will come into detail in later classes. Next, then we done detail NPCA and payment and settlement system. That was the core part of our lecture. And whole this lecture was one way or the other very factual. Question इसमें ज़्यादा conceptual नहीं है, but later class we will have move into more kind of conceptual aspects. Next class we have on what? Next class we have on this money supply. Exactly dynamics of money supply, how RBI is controlling money supply, all these aspects related to it. After that we have banking issues. So we will cover RBI in detail. Today class RBI was covered in just a fraction of it. So that's all. I hope you enjoyed the class. Thank you so much.